Weed's primary purpose in this game was to make money. He looked around the display for the last time and made his decision on sculpting mastery. The skill isn't worth the time. Weed sat down across from the shopkeeper. Now, what do you want to know? I am interested in a past event. I was told someone had sculpted Moonlight at the Royal Palace 50 years ago. I would like to know if there's any truth to that event, Weed said. Oh, that. It's a legend among the sculptors. I've also heard it from members of the royal court. Weed had thought that Moonlight sculpting was impossible, another urban legend. It turned out that the owner of the sculptor shop had also heard the rumor that the instructor at the training hall had claimed to have heard. Quest complete, a mystery sculptor rumored to have visited the royal palace. The rumor the instructor heard was correct. A sculptor carved Moonlight, and it was known to the people of the capital. However, it still remained a mystery how he carved the Moonlight. Reward. Receive rewards from the instructor. Weed grinned. This was a simple quest with the lowest difficulty level. Although, if he had not befriended the shopkeeper, it could have been more difficult. Now that he was done with the quest, it was time to return to the training hall and receive the rewards from the instructor. As Weed was looking for the right moment to leave, the shopkeeper, absorbed in thought, opened his mouth. I haven't heard how he carved the Moonlight. Didn't your sources tell you about it? They always omit it in their tales. They refused to tell me about it. They said Queen Yvain of Rosenheim was involved in the event. Can you do me a favor and look into this to find the truth? The sculptor's past rumor has it that Queen Yvain was involved when the sculptor presented himself in the royal palace and carved the Moonlight. The shopkeeper of the sculpture shop wondered about the link between them. Difficulty level, E-warning. If you are found to be investigating the rumor in question, the royal knights will be hostile towards you. Weeds clenched his fists in excitement. It's a chain quest! Although the difficulty level of the quest was low, the level of rewards increased in consecutive quests. The more stages one completes, the more difficult the quest becomes. So most consecutive quests will likely be challenging for Weed to solve at his current level. The only quests that Weed could complete are the ones that are inside the Citadel, asking around and gathering information from people. I am still inexperienced. I am afraid I may not be worthy of your request. I am certain you are up to this task. You should be fine as long as you're careful. You have accepted the quest. Thank you, traveler. A bard with knowledge of ancient tales and street gossip is the one you should ask about Queen Yvain. Beware. This matter is highly sensitive, so do not do anything that may bring shame to the royal family. Weed held back a hum as he headed to the tavern. Welcome. Weed nodded to the waitress before looking around for the bard. There were a few conditions he had to meet to find the bard. First, this bard would not be a player. This was an event that happened 50 years ago. Weed would be better off finding a Cereborgian native, an older person. An old bard would be reliable when it came to worldly gossip. Weed stopped by several pubs until he found a bard who fit the conditions. It was a middle-aged bard in his 40s. Clapping both hands, Weed approached the bard. That was a fine song, sir. Forgive me for interrupting you, but I wanted to ask you a few questions. Do you know what happened 50 years ago at the royal court of Rosenheim? The bard thrusted his palm out, and Weed understood the meaning behind the gesture. Weed frowned, knowing he couldn't waste any money. You sure have a wonderful voice. So talented. Your skill on the instrument was awe-inspiring. You probably broke the hearts of many Cereborgian ladies in your youth. Of course, I don't doubt you are still quite the lady killer. For a bard, adventure and romance go hand in hand. Such a beautiful thing. The palm didn't go away, and the bard snapped. I'm sick and tired of cheap compliments from the likes of you, traveler. Show me the money or get lost. Weed felt lost momentarily. Do I just give up the quest now? The quest doesn't penalize me even if I decide to drop out, but it could give me great rewards later. I would hate to miss out. To be continued.